Hello out there in the interwebs. You have your tubes tuned to Kennebrony, and I am here in Good Neighbor, and I promised we would go see about the memory den last time, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to pretty much just jump right into it. These guys here, the neighborhood watch was a perfect name for the quote-unquote police in the area. It just fits so perfectly for a Good Neighbor. Painting the nothing there, huh, Drifter? That's cool. Anyway, welcome to the memory den. This is, well, like Nick said last time, this is... Oh,
Mr. Valentine, I thought you had forgotten about little old me.
May have walked out of the den, Irma, but I'd never walk out on you.
Amari's downstairs, you big flirt.
That's Irma. She runs the memory den. She does not run the memory loungers. That's Irma's job. Who is Irma? Well, we're going to go talk to her right now. She is probably one of the smartest people in the Commonwealth. Well, she's definitely one of the smartest people in the Commonwealth. And the argument could definitely be made for her to be at the top of that list.
I take it this isn't a social call.
Not quite.
You're the one who can extract memories from a brain, right?
Normally, we only allow our clients to experience their own memories. Now, what's this all about?
We need a deep dig, Amari, but it's not going to be easy. The perp, Kellogg, is already cold on the floor.
Are you two mad? Besides the fact that you're asking me to defile a corpse, you don't realize that the memory simulators require intact, living brains to function.
Please.
Please. Nick told me you're the only one who can make this work.
This dead brain had inside knowledge of the Institute, Amari. The
Yeah.
biggest scientific secret of the Commonwealth. You need this, and so do we.
Fine. I'll take a look. But no guarantees. Do you have it with you?
Kinda.
Here's what I could find.
What's this? This isn't a brain. This is... Wait. That's the hippocampus. And this thing attached to it? A neural interface?
Those circuits look awfully familiar.
I'm not surprised. From what I've seen, all Institute technology has a similar architecture.
Is it still good?
So the brain is still good, right?
Possibly. There's no sign of decay, so the tech is probably preserving the tissue,
Woohoo!
injecting some kind of compound to keep it stable. But there's no way to access the memories inside without a compatible port.
You're talking about me, right? I'm an old synth. If the Institute built me out of similar parts, we might have an in.
There could be long-term side effects. I don't know where to even begin with listing the risks.
Dr.
Don't
Mari has a
bother.
giraffe
I
neck.
don't need to hear them. Plug me in, Doc.
You sure about that, Nick?
I appreciate this, Nick.
You can thank me when we've found your son. All right, let's do this.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Valentine, just sit down.
If I start cackling like an old grizzled mercenary, pull me out, okay?
Let's see here.
See, this is why Nick is awesome. He's willing to
I need you
let
to keep talking
Dr.
to me,
Mari
Mr.
mess around with his
Valentine.
brain just to help us
Any
find our
slight
kid.
change in your cognitive functions could be dire. Are you feeling any different?
There's a lot of flashes. Static. I can't make sense of any of it, Doc.
That's what I was afraid of. The mnemonic impressions are encoded. It appears the Institute has one last failsafe. There's a lock on the memories in the implant.
Are we boned?
Is Nick gonna be okay?
Yes, the connections appear to be stable. Hopefully, it'll be as simple as unplugging the implant once we're done.
Well, that's
That
good.
doesn't get around the current problem. The memory encryption is too strong for a single mind. But what if we use two? We load both you and Mr. Valentine into the memory loungers.
Look, Mom,
Run
a
your
parallel
cognitive
processor.
functions in parallel. He'll act as a host, while your consciousness drives through whatever memories we can find.
I can't get over how long her neck is.
All right. Let's get started.
Just sit down over there, and Keep your fingers crossed.
See you on the other side.
Alrighty, Nick. Whee! And I think Nick was supposed to stay in that chair there, but he's heading on upstairs to be in position for his next, what do we call it? Trigger?
Initiating
I think
brainwave
triggers,
migration between the
Program
transplant and
stuffs.
the host.
Plot
Pneumatic
things!
activity coming from the transplant. It's degenerated, but it's there.
Woohoo!
We're going to load you into the strongest memories we can find. They might not be stable. Just hold on.
Alright, and here is where we're basically going to get Kellogg's entire backstory.
Can you hear
More or
me?
less.
Ah, good. The simulation appears to be working, although the memories are quite fragmentary. I'll try to step you through the intact memories and hope we find one that gives us some clue to the Institute's location.
I liked how they did this part. I think this entire scene's pretty cool.
There. This is the earliest intact memory I can find.
And we're going to get pretty much chronological order here, too. So... whoop. Oh, need to scratch my ear.
Remember, you are experiencing these memories as Kellog. This may prove disorienting at first.
Not sure if you could hear that, but there was someone yelling through that door. Woohoo!
I'm sure that's going to take some getting used to for a lot of people.
Alright.
What?
Dad was either drunk or not around. I guess he must have run with one of the raider gangs, but I never really knew what he did. Don't know why Mom was with him. Maybe at some point in his life he wasn't a complete asshole.
Kellogg doesn't really like his dad.
What's it mean, Mom?
Nothing, Connie.
And that's the thing for the memories, you can
And hope someone else is
keep
gonna
on...
keep them safe.
I was such a dummy back then. What did I know about how the world worked? I think now she wanted me to kill him. I should have. Instead, I ended up running away. I told myself I wanted to find somewhere
my
out
ear is
from
itchy.
under the thumb of the
And I don't want to
NCR and
bump
all
the
their
mic.
rules. But really, I was running from the guilt of not protecting her from Dad. Yeah, it doesn't matter now, though.
It's got a lot of Grognak comics, too.
School said the NCR would bring back the good old days. Like before the big war.
Don't you listen to that twaddle. I'm going to stop singing you if that's what they're teaching you.
His mom's a real
Mom
piece
knew
of work,
how it
too.
was. She wasn't soft, but she loved me in her way. And
Yeah,
she
you can
protected
just
me
click
from
on stuff.
Dad. That cost her more than a few beatings.
You can click on various stuff in the
I never
memories,
knew
and you
what
can get
happened to her after
these
I
backgrounds
left.
from Kellogg.
I didn't want to know. Not then.
And
People always hope for something better. They usually end up with something worse.
Where the fuck did you put my boots?
Listen to me, Connie. You take this.
this is where he was talking about. He thought that she wanted him to
You're
kill
the man with a
his
family
dad.
now. It's your job to protect us. Your father's useless, but you won't turn out like him. You're a good boy. And all that on the radio. All useless talk. The only thing that will protect you in this world is that gun in your hands. You need to
Where
learn
you
to
going with
use
that
it
gun in
if
your
you're going to
hands?
survive.
I will, Mom.
And that's the gun that I got from Kellogg. He used that
Won't let you
gun
down.
his entire life, pretty much.
You've always been my good boy.
This doesn't seem to be what we're looking for.
So yeah, you can skip the memories basically if you
There
want to,
appears
just
be
run
another
along the
intact
things
memory
there.
close to
but-
you in temporal sequence.
But I like
There.
this whole thing. I like getting Kellogg's backstory.
Try that one.
Yeah, I'm going, Dr. Mari. Jeez. Hold your horses. So he was a kid over there, and eventually he ran away. And in here,
The thing about happiness
He's all growed up.
is you only know you had it when it's gone.
well, kind of growed up.
I mean, you may think to yourself that you're happy, but you don't really believe it. Focus on the petty bullshit or next job or whatever. It's only looking back, by comparison with what comes after, that you really understand that's what happiness felt like.
Over
It's
here,
gonna be fine. You'll see.
we have Sarah.
I was the worst thing that ever happened to her. If she'd never met me, she'd have stayed in the hub, maybe hooked up with someone who didn't kill people for a living. Probably been happier than she was with me.
Yep, the hub
Almost certainly lived
was
longer.
from the first Fallout game, Hubtown, which
But we don't
was
know
the biggest city
anybody
in
here. And now
Fallout 1
with
too.
the baby?
Come on, Sarah, you've got to give it a chance. I thought San Francisco was my chance to start fresh. I was the hot shit, the gunslinger from the hub, rolling into town with the world at my feet. Everybody knew I was the one who'd shot Valdez. I could write my own ticket to any outfit in town. It all worked out pretty damn well.
I wonder if maybe they'll have a
For a while.
DLC of you digging through Kellogg's memories some more and see about
If
this
I got
shooting
steady
Valdez
work with
thing.
a good outfit. Nothing like that. in
Because
the
Valdez
NCR
doesn't
these
ring any
days.
bells for me. Also,
Whatever made me think that a guy like me should have a daughter? No, I never deserved her. Not for 1 second.
I'm not saying this was a mistake. I'm just... Are you sure these guys know what they're
yes,
doing?
the hub
They seem kinda
was
green.
way north of
that's where I
San
come in.
Francisco. Probably, if
Just
you're
wait.
familiar with
In a few
California's
years, I'll be running my own crew.
cities and stuff,
Soon as I
probably
make the
pretty
connections
close to
I
Redding, and then
I can
head
give
down
you
south to
anything you want.
to San Francisco.
And little Mary, too.
I never worried about you before. Must be my mama instincts
Oh,
kicking in.
bumping the mic, getting my hand in the way.
Anywhere it goes, huh?
Come on, you're great with her. And you don't need to worry about me. Most of it's just running security for the she. A lot of standing around looking tough.
Well, they sure picked the right person for that job.
Listen, it's gonna be great here. See this? This is what's gonna keep you and Mary safe. I promise.
Not quite.
I know, Connie. I'm sure we're gonna be really happy here.
We are. You'll see.
Connie. Oh,
That's okay. I got her.
anyway, he was talking about the she.
I'll
Basically,
connect you to
in
the next intact memory.
Fallout 2, we see that... Oh, weird. It repeats. In Fallout 2, we learn that
It's gonna be
basically, basically Chinatown went ahead and kind of took over San Francisco after the bombs fell, and you have the she and someone else vying for control of San Francisco, and I don't even remember which was which. Oh, what do we got
How did
here?
you think this was going to end, Kellogg? You thought you could just fuck with us, and we wouldn't fuck with you? Just so you know, they died like dogs. And you weren't there to help them.
Boot.
I found another memory to try. I'll connect you.
So yeah, that's basically why Kellogg, well, does what he does, because the people he loved got taken away from him. Doesn't it's not an excuse, but it does at least give him a sensible motivation.
I didn't care where I was going. Ended up mostly wandering east. Getting as far away from San Francisco as I could, maybe.
Mind if we sit down?
Suit yourself.
Talk to this guy.
There's always someone who wanted someone else dead. Sometimes just roughed up, but dead was usually what they wanted. Sometimes they thought they could cheat me. That was usually only when I first arrived somewhere. Didn't matter to me. They just took it as part of the job. Little extra thrown in for free. I always got paid in the end. One way or another.
This guy.
There was always a job for someone like me. Didn't matter what it was. Didn't matter who I was supposed to kill. I got pretty good at it.
Nah.
I don't remember much from that time. It all kind of blends together. It was almost always a bar, though. That's universal.
So yeah, that was that. Yeah, I would like to actually see a DLC that goes into Kellogg stuff. You can also see that he, pretty sure he did not have that scar on his eye before he went in to deal with that voice.
That's right.
We pay you when the job is done. Is that okay?
That's the way you want to do it?
Wearing metal armor, looks like.
Well, it's like this. There's his family. Lives down the creek a ways.
Well, we seem to be getting closer. Try this next one.
This next one is a very, very important one, actually. And we also kind of get to see, Kellogg in action a little bit.
Mr. Kellogg, I'm glad you decided to meet with me.
So, you're with the Institute. I wanted to see for myself.
And he's looking pretty old now.
We do, as you can see.
What do you want?
It's come to my attention that you've been rather disruptive of our operations lately. This must stop.
I do what people pay me to do. If that's a problem for you, I could see only one way out.
And what's that, Mr. Kellogg?
If I'm working for you, there's no more problem. I finally ended up in the Commonwealth.
I almost forgot to click on stuff.
Ran out of road. Plus, I'd come to terms with life. I wasn't going to be stupid enough to get mixed up with caring about other people again. It was just me against the world. And the world had it coming.
All these synths, he'll say the same thing.
First synths weren't all that impressive. I'm good, but I'm not that good. But the Institute could always make more, and kept making them better each time.
The synthesizers are still moving around even in the pause time.
You have to get used to them if you want to work with the Institute. From what I hear, you heard all sorts of rumors about the Institute. But I figured they were just a convenient boogeyman for anything bad that ever happened. They were real, all right. They didn't know anything about operating on the surface.
Yep.
Relied on their synths for everything. They had the resources I needed, and I had the expertise they needed. Turned into a permanent arrangement. Suited me just fine. Afford me.
I don't think you fully understand the situation you're in.
Let's go ahead and...
I think I do.
Very well.
There we go. That's a good angle.
B748. Initiate.
Shield. Bam. Headshot. Boom. Headshot. And execution. You were saying?
Impressive. We may have something to talk about after all.
Getting warmer. One of these has got to tell us something.
One of them will,
We're
in
running out of
fact.
grain here. There's one that looks mostly intact. Connecting now.
In fact, this one... Nope, not this one. The next one.
Manual override initiated. Cryogenic...
I was now the Institute's main operator in the Commonwealth. If they needed something done, they came to me. It wasn't usual for anybody from the Institute to come along on a mission, so this one stood out. I didn't know then
this one
who
stands
it
out for
was
us,
we were
too.
grabbing from the vault. Of course, neither did they. Not really. The eggheads never liked taking orders from a
I forget if
dirty,
these scientists
degenerate like me.
have different things.
But they needed me, and I made sure they knew it. The eggheads never liked
Yep,
taking
they say the
orders
same thing.
from a dirty...
So I'll
I
just
never
skip that.
knew why we didn't just refreeze the rest of them.
That'd be too easy,
But
Kellogg.
we had our orders. I guess the old man didn't want so many loose ends. Too bad he left alive the one person he shouldn't have.
Vulcan.
I'm glad I didn't have to kill the kid. I'm not saying I haven't done it, but I never like to. And yeah, I guess it did remind me of her. Yeah, I'm a cold-hearted bastard for sure, but I'm still human.
Well,
Better
you were.
this way, though.
Mostly human. Kind
Better
of
than
human?
taking her kid and leaving her alive.
Computers are still working.
Even then, I knew it was a mistake leaving him alive. I understood that kind of revenge. No one better.
Yep.
But I was cocky enough to assume I could handle some soft, pre-war vault dweller, even if he somehow got thawed out. At least I know those Institute bastards will soon get what's coming to them, too. If he could take me out, they won't be able to hide from him for long.
Indeed.
That's good. Checking through the logs. Hopefully it's all...
Just find it.
Pod C6. Down the hall near the end.
Excuse me. Just over here burping and stuff. It's not, Come on, guys. Oh, there's me, pounding on the... Hey, let me out.
This is the one.
Oh, yep. Hey, I never noticed that they were marked. C6.
Open it.
C7. So I guess we were in C-Wing. That's cool.
Is it over? Are we okay?
Almost. Everything's going to be fine.
Come here. Come here, baby.
I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't really do like any kind of blood splatter or anything. Like retroactively, I would have expected them to, explode her head like a lot of the guys that I deal with.
Get the kid out of here and let's go. At least we still have the backup.
Cryogenic sequence reinitialized.
What's the holdup? I'm almost finished, Kellogg. I just need to confirm. Come on. All right, we're good.
I'm sorry you had to go through that again. I found another.
Just makes me glad that I shot his face clean off. Alright, and this last one is a pretty long one, but it is the memory that we're looking for. Jedi mind trick. Sean!
It wasn't my idea to settle down with the kid in the middle of Diamond City. I thought it was a terrible
Yeah, just talk
idea,
over each other, guys.
But it was one of the old man's pet projects, so here we were. Me and the kid. Like a happy little family. I ended up kind of liking it. A reminder of what my life might have been if things had turned out differently. But there's no going back. I knew it was just temporary. It'd be back to normal business before too long. This whole setup in Diamond City was part of some elaborate plan of the old man's. Seems obvious now that we were bait for our friend from the vault. Timing couldn't have been an accident. It's not how the old man works.
Just looking for other stuff to investigate.
I wonder if he outsmarted me in the end. Another loose end tied up.
Pretty much. And then... Oh. Radio doing its thing. Sorry, I got distracted looking in the reflection on the TV. And this is also really recent, actually.
Kellog.
Oh.
The new breed of synths could easily pass as human. Some of them did. But the coursers, they weren't built to blend in. They were killing machines, pure and simple.
That's X
Smarter,
something.
Stronger, and faster than almost any real human. I'm just glad they were always on my side.
You could have destroyed them, Kellogg.
It's okay. One of these days, you're gonna get your head blown off just barging in here like that.
Minimizing my exposure to civilians is a priority.
Forget I said anything. So what's the big crisis this time?
New orders for you. One of our scientists has left the Institute.
They gasp.
As in?
He's gone rogue. Name's Dr. Brian Virgil. We know he's hiding somewhere in the glowing sea. Here's his file.
Wow. Some heads are gonna roll for this. Capture and return, or just elimination?
Elimination. He was working on a highly classified program.
Yeah, he was.
No kidding. One of the top bioscience boys? Damn. So, I guess you're taking the kid back with you.
Put the folder down. I know I can, there we go.
Your only mission.
If anything like this had ever happened before, I've never heard of it. Maybe a sign that the old man was losing his grip. Finding someone in the glowing sea wasn't going to be any picnic. I never expected an Institute egghead to give me so much trouble.
It's to locate and eliminate Virgil.
You're taking me home to my father?
Yes. Stand next to me and hold still.
Okay.
It's odd that they would have him say, to my father. Minor plot thing.
X688.
That's on X688.
Bye, Mr. Kellogg. I hope I see you again soon.
Zap, zap.
Bye.
Teleportation. Now it all makes sense. Nobody's found the entrance to the Institute because there is no entrance. Let me pull you out of there as soon as you're ready.
Okay, day. And this is how we get out. Alright, let's get out of here. See, that was basically Kellogg's memories and a huge bit of info. We know that there is an Institute scientist hiding in the glow, or the glow, not the glow, the glowing sea. The glow is a different thing altogether.
Done this before. How do you feel?
Feel pretty good.
I'm okay, Doctor. Thank you.
That's good. But I want you to keep monitoring yourself. We have to be sure there's no long-term damage. Are you ready to talk about what happened in there?
We got
Teleported.
what we needed. The Institute uses teleportation to get in and out.
Yes.
Bum, bum,
Their greatest secret has
bum.
finally been revealed. But that only leads to more questions. How does it work? Where do we
Answers
go
usually lead
next?
to more questions. Virgil.
That scientist Kellogg was supposed to track down. Virgil. We need to find him.
You're right. A rogue Institute scientist could answer all kinds of questions. Where did the memory say he was? The glowing sea? That doesn't make sense. No one goes there. Not even if they were desperate.
It's a good hiding spot then.
That's why he's there. To make the Institute think twice about following him.
That must be it. He's using the radiation in the glowing sea like a shield or a cloak, a way to throw them off and be at an advantage. If Virgil found a way to survive there, you'll have to do the same. If you're going to follow him.
I'll find a way.
I'll find a way to get through the rads. Don't worry.
Good luck. And be safe. By the way, I unplugged Mr. Valentine first. Removed the implant
400
while
experience.
you were waking up. He's waiting for you upstairs.
Alright, cool. Let's go talk to Nick before we end this episode. Because I'm pretty sure that's going to do it for this episode. Also, right now is like the perfect place to, well, go do all kinds of stuffs. Hey, Nick.
Nick.
Hope you got what you were looking for inside my head. I was right. I should have killed you when you were on ice.
Nick?
Nick, are you still in there?
What? What are you talking about?
You sounded like Kellogg just then.
Did I? Huh. Mari said there might be some mnemonic impressions left over. Anyway, I feel fine, so let's get going.
All right, Nick, let's go.
Let's get going, Nick.
Been one heck of a ride so far. Let's see where it takes us next.
They never do anything else with the...
Let me ask you something.
Yeah? What's up, Nick?
Is something wrong?
Well, I sort of had the same question. It's just, with everything that's happened with you and your family, it's a whole hell of a lot to process. I wanted to make sure you're holding up all right.
As well as... as well as anyone can, really.
Why do you ask?
I just had a hard go with the transition myself. Took me a long damn time to get a feel for this place. Thank goodness I found Diamond City. It's got its flaws, sure, but it beats the hell out of anywhere else in the Commonwealth. Of course, when I took up there back when, people were just as scared of the Institute as they are now. Maybe more. The massacre of the CPG was still pretty fresh in people's minds at that point. And folks were still losing sleep over the broken mask.
The CPG was a bar, and the broken mask was basically where everyone realized that
but at the
synths
time,
were a thing.
Couldn't exactly turn me away.
Oh, cool, we can ask him about the stuff.
Broken mask?
This was long before I'd moved to town, but apparently some gentleman type shows up in Diamond City, heads down to Power Noodles. Guess he didn't like the food because he pulled his pistol and opened fire on the folks enjoying theirs. When security finally put enough holes in him to drop him, they say he was full of servos and sprockets, just like yours truly. Seems he malfunctioned, went berserk. It was the first time people realized that synths had stopped looking like me and started looking like them. Considering what these folks went through, I felt real lucky they let me in the front gate at all.
CPG.
Massacre of the CPG? What's that?
The Commonwealth Provisional Government. Years back, a group of settlements tried to get together and form a coalition. Every settlement with even a hint of clout sent representatives to try and hash out an agreement. Only the Institute sent a representative of their own, a synth. The man killed every rep at the talks. The Commonwealth Provisional Government was over before it even got off the ground. I took up in town not long after. I was damn lucky they didn't just tell me to scram right then and there.
I didn't know about the CPG massacre.
Why'd they let you in?
Because I'd rescued the mayor's daughter. Gal of about 15. Pride and joy of the mayor back then. Man by the name of Henry Roberts. The young Miss Roberts decided she'd run off with some caravan hand she'd known for an evening.
In the biblical
Turns
sense.
out the guy was part of a gang of kidnappers. I didn't even know who I was rescuing, just stumbled on a crying girl and 4 toughs. I took her home and the mayor dubbed me a hero, offered me a place in town. Lots of folks protested, said I was a spy, but he wouldn't have it. Taking up in the city was tricky at first, but I never tried to hide what I was, and people seemed to warm to that.
Took out
You
4
took down
guys?
4 guys by yourself?
Well, I didn't have to. Back then, synths were even more of an unknown quantity than they are today. I told them I was rigged to explode and started going beep, beep, beep. Hardest part of that rescue was keeping from laughing as they climbed over each other to get away.
Nick's awesome.
Was it hard settling in?
Yeah, they sure didn't make it easy. I started off doing the jobs no one else wanted. I got more banged up being Diamond City's handyman than I ever did living out in the ruins. But I guess folks never forgot I rescued the mayor's daughter, so they started coming to me when people went missing. Wife runs off with a new paramour and takes the rent money with her. Talk to the synth. An upset father decides moving him and the kids to Good Neighbor in the dead of night's not the worst damn idea since the bomb. Go get Nick. After
That
a
is
while,
a terrible
jobs
idea,
got
too.
so backed up, they didn't even ask me to do the handyman stuff anymore. Hell, I was so happy to do it, it was months before I started charging anyone. I never stopped being Nick the Synth, but it was Nick the Detective folks came to see. It was about then that things finally started feeling normal. It took me a long time to realize that home is where you make it. With some time and effort, this place can be home for you, too. That's a long story. but I hope it helps. Want to get moving? The Commonwealth's not an easy place to
So,
travel
yeah, that's going to do
alone.
it for this episode, though, viewers.
Nice to have someone watching my back.
Nick's good people, even if he's technically not people. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode, and next time, man, I don't even know what we're going to do next time, because basically, this is the part of the game where I do the most exploring that I do in the entire thing. Because, we have the first real good spot to just kind of wander around and do stuff is when they tell you, hey, go to Diamond City. And then, well, kind of like you saw in my videos, we went pretty much straight through plot until we hit go to the glowing sea, and we're not going to go there until probably level 30 or even later. And that's going to mean we can basically go wherever we want, and I'm not even sure what we're going to do first. So until next time, I shall catch you on the flip side. Laters.